The forest was broken by war. Rain fell hard through the tall alien trees, turning the ground into mud. The sky was dark, full of smoke and heavy clouds. Shadows stretched between the twisted roots and fallen metal. The only sound was the endless rain, dripping on leaves, pounding on helmets, washing blood into the ground. A human soldier walked slowly through the ruins. His uniform was wet, his boots heavy with water, his breath tired. He had survived the battle, but he was not sure why. All around him the war had taken lives, both human and alien. The silence after the fight was almost worse than the fight itself. He carried his rifle, but his heart felt heavier than the weapon. Then he heard something, a soft sound, almost too quiet to notice. He stopped, listening. It was not the sound of machines, not the sound of enemy steps. It was something weak, fragile, almost like a child's voice. He moved carefully, pushing branches aside, keeping low. The voice came again, trembling, broken. He found her there. A small figure in the rain, standing alone, shaking. She was not human. Her skin was pale, almost glowing under the rain. Her long hair stuck to her face, wet and dark. Her ears were pointed, her eyes larger than human eyes, glowing faintly with a soft blue light. She wore a torn dress, soaked with water, and she hugged herself against the cold. The soldier froze. He had seen many aliens during the war, but never a child alone like this. For a moment he wondered if it was a trap. But when she looked at him, her face was full of fear, not hate. Her lips moved, whispering words in broken human speech. Please, human, pretend to be my daddy, for just one day. The soldier felt his chest tighten. He did not understand why she would say this. Why would an alien child ask for a human father? Was this a trick? Was she hiding something? But her eyes were not lying. Because you are human, and humans do not leave. His heart shook at her words. He wanted to deny it, to tell her she was wrong. But deep inside, he knew he could not walk away. Something in her voice, something in her eyes, had chained him. The storm grew louder. Far away, the sound of machines echoed through the forest. Enemy patrols were not far. The soldier's instincts screamed at him to move, to hide, to run. But now he was no longer alone. Now he carried more than his own life. He stood, pulling the girl gently by the hand. Her fingers were cold, fragile, but she did not resist. Together they stepped into the shadows of the forest. The rain swallowed their steps, but the danger was near. Behind them, red lights flashed through the trees, search drones, hunting. The soldier tightened his grip, pulling her close. He whispered, "Stay quiet. Stay with me." The girl nodded, her eyes wide, her lips pressed shut. Her small hand clung to his like a lifeline. The forest roared with storm and metal. The soldier's heart raced. He had made a choice, a dangerous choice, a choice that would change both of their fates forever. And in the cold, endless rain, her whisper still echoed, "Pretend to be my daddy, for just one day." The forest did not rest. Rain still poured like silver needles from the dark sky. The soldier kept moving, holding the alien girl's hand. Her small steps struggled to keep up, yet she did not let go. The night was thick with fear. Every shadow could hide an enemy. He led her through broken roots and fallen metal. His boots sank into mud, his breath fogged in the cold air. The girl's dress dragged heavy with water, clinging to her small frame. She stumbled once, but he caught her quickly, pulling her close. Her eyes lifted to him, shining faintly blue in the storm. Behind them, red beams cut through the forest. Enemy drones were searching, scanning. Neighing, moving closer, the soldier knew the machines could hear the smallest sound. He whispered sharply, "Quiet, stay low." She nodded, pressing her lips together, holding her breath when branches cracked. They crouched under a twisted tree, the umbrella tilted to hide them. The soldier wiped rain from his rifle, listening. The hum of the drones grew louder, mechanical wings beating like a swarm. Lights swept across the mud, searching, circling. The girl squeezed his hand, her body trembling. He felt her fear as if it were his own. But fear was dangerous. Fear could make her cry out. So he leaned close and whispered, "Do not fear, little one. I will protect you." Her eyes widened, as if she could not believe a human would say such words. Still, she nodded again, fighting to stay quiet. One drone passed close, so close he could see the red sensor glow. If it turned, if it scanned, they were finished. He pressed her down into the mud, covering her with his own body. Rain beat on his back, water soaking him completely. The drone hovered, buzzing like a giant insect, then drifted away into the storm. The soldier waited, counting his breaths. Only when silence returned did he dare to rise again. The girl looked at him, her face pale and streaked with rain. She whispered with a shaking voice, "Why do you help me, human? We are enemies." The words cut him, because they were true. He had no clear answer. He only knew that leaving her would be wrong. Something about her eyes, her voice, her loneliness had broken through the walls of war. He sighed and said softly, "Because you asked me. Because no child should be alone in this storm." Her lips trembled, and for a moment he thought she might cry. They moved again, deeper into the ruins. The forest gave way to shattered stone walls, remains of an old outpost. Here the ground was cracked, filled with black water. Strange alias. And plants grew through the rubble, glowing faintly green. The girl stopped, staring at them with fear. "What is it?" the soldier asked. She shook her head, whispering, "They are watchers. They can call the hunters." He frowned, not understanding, but pulled her away quickly. He trusted her fear, even if he did not understand the danger. Together they crossed the ruined ground, staying close to shadows. Then the night was broken by a deep metallic roar. The soldier froze, heart pounding. Through the rain and smoke, a huge shape moved. Not a drone, not a soldier, but something larger, heavier. A war machine walking on 4 steel legs, its head glowing with red fire. The girl gasped, covering her mouth. Her whole body trembled as if the sound itself hurt her. The soldier pulled her back, hiding behind stone. The machine scanned the ruins, its sensors slicing the dark with beams of light. The ground shook with each heavy step. The soldier's mind raced. His rifle was useless against such a monster. If it found them, there would be no escape. He looked at the girl, her eyes wide with terror, and again the question burned in his heart. Why did she ask him to be her father? He crouched, gripping her shoulder. "You must tell me the truth. Why are they hunting you?" She bit her lip, tears mixing with rain. Finally she whispered, "Because I am different, because they fear me, because I was left behind." Her words were broken, but the meaning was clear. The soldier stared at her. She was only a child, yet her own people had abandoned her. Now machines and soldiers hunted her through the storm. He felt anger rising inside, anger at both sides of the war. He did not know if he could save her, but he could not let her die. The machine roared again, turning its massive head. Its red light swept closer, glowing on the wet stones. The soldier lifted the girl in his arms, holding her tight. She hid her face against his chest, whispering, "Please, Daddy, do not let them take me." Her words struck him like a blade, but also gave him strength. He ran, boots splashing in mud, breath burning. The machine's sensors locked, alarms screaming. A beam of red light cut across the ruins, chasing them. The soldier jumped over broken walls, carrying her with all his strength. Explosions ripped behind them, fire lighting the rain. The girl clung to him, whispering prayers in a language he did not know. He did not look back, only forward, searching for cover. The machine roared again, shaking the earth. He pushed himself harder, though his body screamed in pain. The rain washed his face, the mud tried to drag him down, but he did not stop. Finally, he saw a crack in the ruins, a narrow path between 2 fallen walls. He dived into it, pressing the girl against his chest, rolling into shadow. The machine thundered past, its lights searching, but not finding. The soldier lay still, his heart beating like war drums. The girl breathed fast against him, her small hand gripping his shirt. Silence returned for a moment, only rain falling, but the soldier knew this was not the end. He had made a choice, the dangerous choice. Now there was no turning back, no safe road left. He whispered into the storm, "I will protect you, no matter the cost." The girl's glowing eyes opened, filled with fragile hope, and the dark forest around them seemed to hold its breath. The hunt was not over, but the bond had begun. The rain did not stop. It fell like endless needles, soaking the soldier and the alien girl as they crouched in the narrow ruins. The giant war machine had passed, its red light sweeping the broken ground, its heavy steps shaking the forest. But the danger was not gone. The soldier knew the machine would return, and the patrols would not rest until they found her. He looked at the girl in his arms. Her glowing eyes were half closed, her breath weak, her body shaking with cold. She was so light it felt like he was carrying smoke, and yet she carried a weight far greater than his rifle. He whispered, "Stay awake, little one. Stay with me." She blinked slowly, whispering back, "I am trying, Daddy." The word made his heart twist. He wanted to tell her he was not her father, but the words would not come. In her voice was such hope, such fragile trust, that breaking it would feel like breaking her, so he only nodded and held her tighter. Rain poured down his face, washing away the blood and mud. Far away, the sound of drones returned. Their hum was sharp, their lights cutting through the mist. The soldier knew he could not stay hidden here. If they scanned the ruins, they would be trapped. He rose slowly, carrying the girl in his arms, and began to move again. The forest stretched before him, black and endless. Every tree was broken by fire. Every shadow held secrets. The ground was thick with mud, sucking at his boots, trying to slow him. But he kept moving, step after step. Behind him, the storm carried the metallic sound of pursuit. The girl lifted her head weakly. "They will not stop, they will never stop," she whispered. The soldier frowned. Why do they hunt a child?" Her lips trembled, her glowing eyes filled with sorrow. "Because I am not just a child, because they fear what I carry inside." Her words sent a chill through him. He wanted to ask more, but there was no time. The drones were closer, their red lights dancing between the trees. He ducked low, slipping into a hollow beneath the roots of a massive alien tree. He placed the girl down gently, her small frame curled into the mud. He aimed his rifle through the roots. 3 drones passed above, their wings buzzing like steel insects. Their lights swept the ground, their sensors blinking, searching. The soldier held his breath, rain dripping from his helmet. The girl clutched his sleeve, her body trembling. One drone stopped, its red eye turning down. The soldier's finger tightened on the trigger, but before he fired, the girl raised her small hand. Her glowing eyes shone brighter, and suddenly the light bent around them. The drone's sensor swept past as if they were not there. The soldier's heart nearly stopped. He turned to the girl, whispering sharply, "What did you do?" She looked at him with fear and shame, whispering back, "I made us invisible, only for a moment. But they will feel it. They will know." Her hand fell, weak, and her glow dimmed again. The soldier realized she was no ordinary child. The drones moved away, but not far. The soldier lifted her again, whispering, "We must go now." They slipped from the hollow, running through the trees. Branches tore at his arms, mud pulled at his boots, but he kept running, carrying her like the most precious thing he had ever held. The forest opened into a clearing. Here the ruins of metal ships lay scattered, half buried in mud. The wrecks burned faintly with green fire, alien symbols glowing in the rain. The soldier felt the girl stiffen in his arms. "This was my people's place," she whispered. "This is where they left me." He stopped, staring at her. The wreckage stretched wide, filled with twisted steel and broken glass. Bodies lay half-buried, alien and human both, washed by rain. He felt her small hand. To grip his shirt tightly. "They left me here because of what I am," she whispered again. Before he could answer, a roar split the night. The war machine returned, crashing through the forest. Its red eye burned like fire, its metal legs pounding the ground. The wrecks shook under its weight. The mud exploded with every step. The soldier's heart raced. There was nowhere to hide. He sprinted across the wreckage, slipping on wet steel. The girl clung to him, whispering broken words, half prayer, half fear. The machine fired, beams of red light tearing the ground beside them. Explosions ripped metal apart. Flames leapt high into the rain. The soldier jumped over burning wreckage, his body screaming with pain. The girl pressed her face into his chest. Her voice broke. "You should leave me, Daddy. If they take me, you will live." The soldier's teeth clenched, anger flooding him. He shouted into the storm, "I will not leave you. Do you hear me? Never." His voice echoed through the rain, fierce and unbroken. The machine roared louder, metal claws smashing wrecks aside. The soldier stumbled, falling into the mud, still clutching her. He rolled, shielding her as debris rained down. His ears rang. Smoke burned his lungs, but through the fire and rain he pushed himself up again. The girl's glowing eyes met his, filled with tears. "You are not my real father," she whispered, "but you are more than they ever were." The words gave him strength, burning like fire in his chest. He held her tighter, whispering back, "And you are not just a burden. You are my child now, no matter what." The storm swallowed his words, but she heard them. Together they ran again, deeper into the wreckage. Behind them the machine thundered, its rage shaking the night. The pursuit had only begun, but in the heart of the storm, man and alien child were no longer strangers. They were something more, something stronger, something the universe could not break. The night grew darker, the storm rose. Her eyes opened weakly, shimmering with sadness. "They call it forbidden. My people fear it. They say it is cursed, so they left me behind." The soldier stared at her, his heart heavy. He wanted to deny it, to say no child should be abandoned, but her eyes told the truth. She had been cast away not because of weakness, but because of strength. Strength her people could not control, strength they feared. She pressed her small hand against his chest. Her voice broke. "You should leave me too, Daddy. I am dangerous." The soldier clenched his teeth, shaking his head. "No, I will not leave you. No matter what you carry inside, you are still a child, and you are mine now." Her tears mixed with the rain, but her lips curved into the smallest smile. For the first time since he found her, she looked almost safe. But the soldier's thoughts twisted with fear. If she could bend light, if she could vanish into shadow, what else could she do? Was she a child, or was she a weapon? The war was full of lies, and he no longer knew what to believe. He carried her deeper into the ship. The corridor opened into a chamber filled with broken machines. Strange crystals glowed in the corners, casting green light across the walls. The girl stirred, whispering, "This was my people's place of secrets. I should not be here, but I remember." Her eyes glowed again, reflecting the crystals. The soldier set her down gently. She walked slowly to the center of the chamber, her hands brushing the air. Symbols lit up under her touch, runes burning bright like fire. The soldier's rifle trembled in his hands as the room came alive. He whispered, "What are you doing?" She turned to him, her voice clear, stronger than before. "They built these machines to hide from death, but they could not see me, they could not control me, so they destroyed everything." The chamber shook, lights flashing, strange energy humming through the walls. The soldier felt the hair on his arms rise, the air alive with power. The girl's glow was brighter now, almost blinding. Then she collapsed, falling into his arms. The lights went dark, the runes fading, the chamber silent again. Her small chest rose and fell weakly, her eyes fluttering open. "Daddy," she whispered, "promise you will not let them take me. Promise you will not give me back." The soldier held her close, his voice steady. "I promise. I swear it." Outside, the machine roared again. Its claws scraped the wreckage, its sensors searching. The soldier pressed her against his chest, lifting her with new strength. He whispered fiercely, "You are not cursed. You are not abandoned. You are mine, and I will fight the whole world to keep you." The girl's hand curled into his shirt, her eyes glowing faintly in answer. Together they stepped back into the storm. The hunt was far from over, but now the soldier knew the truth. The girl was more than a child, more than a victim. She carried a hidden power that could change everything, and because of that, the whole universe would come for her. But so would he. He would stand against them all. He would be her shield, her father, her only hope. The storm swallowed them again, but their bond burned brighter than the lightning. The storm began to ease. The heavy rain softened into mist, though the ground was still deep with mud. The soldier carried the alien girl through the ruins, her small body limp in his arms. Her glow had faded after she used her power, leaving her pale and weak. He whispered to her as he walked, "Stay with me, little one. We are not done yet." The forest grew quieter. The distant roar of the war machine faded into the storm's echoes. The soldier moved toward the hills, searching for shelter. At last he found a broken structure, an old human outpost left behind after earlier battles. Its roof was half gone, but its walls still stood. Inside, he laid the girl on a cracked bench. He pulled his coat around her to keep her warm. Her small hands clutched the fabric tightly, as if she feared he would vanish. The soldier looked at her, his mind filled with questions. Who was she really? Why had her own people abandoned her? Why did both armies want her dead? The silence was broken by a faint crackle. A radio hidden in the corner still had power. The soldier hesitated, then reached for it. Static hissed, then a voice came through, sharp and cold. "Unit 27, report your status. We have seen your beacon. Respond." His heart pounded. He should answer. It was his duty. But he looked at the girl, her glowing eyes opening slowly, watching him with fear. If he spoke, if he told the truth, they would know about her, and orders would come. Orders he might not be able to disobey. He pressed the button anyway, his voice rough. "This is Unit 27. I survived. I am wounded but alive." The radio crackled again. "Understood. Hold your position. Recovery team inbound. Repeat. Hold position. Do not move." The soldier set the radio down, his hand trembling. He whispered to himself, "They are coming." The girl sat up weakly, her glowing eyes locked on him, sharp with fear. "You called them. You will give me away," she whispered, her voice breaking. The soldier shook his head quickly. "No, I only told them I am alive. I did not speak of you." But doubt filled her gaze. She pulled his coat tighter around herself, shrinking into the corner. Her voice was small, trembling. "My people threw me away. Now you will too. Everyone leaves me." The soldier felt a knife of guilt in his chest. He crouched beside her, taking her hand gently. "No, listen to me. I will not leave you. Not them. Not anyone, only me and you." Her eyes shimmered with tears, but before he could say more, a sound echoed outside. Engines, boots in the mud, the voices of human soldiers. They were already here. The soldier stood, his rifle tight in his grip. The door burst open. 3 soldiers entered, armored, weapons raised. Their leader's visor glowed in the dim light. He saw the soldier and barked, "Unit 27, you are alive by order of command. Report immediately." The soldier saluted stiffly, hiding his fear. The leader's eyes narrowed behind the mask. He scanned the room, his gaze falling on the small figure in the corner. His voice turned sharp. "What is that?" The girl flinched, her glowing eyes giving her away. The soldier stepped in front of her quickly, his voice firm. "She is a child. She is under my protection." The room went still. The soldiers raised their rifles. The leader's voice was cold. "That is not a child. That is the enemy. You will step aside, soldier. Those are your orders." The soldier's hands trembled on his rifle. He knew this moment had come. He looked back at the girl. Her eyes begged him, tears running down her pale face. "Daddy, please do not let them take me," she whispered. The soldier's heart broke. His own brothers in arms stood before him, yet they were now his enemy. The leader stepped closer. "Do not be a fool. She is dangerous. She is not yours to protect. Hand her over." The soldier raised his rifle, his voice shaking but strong. "She is mine now. She is under my care and no one will take her." Gasps filled the room. The other soldiers froze in shock. The leader's voice turned harsh. "You betray your oath. You betray humanity itself." The soldier shook his head, his voice steady. "No, I protect what humanity means, not what war has twisted it into." The girl pressed her hands against his back, hiding behind him. Outside, thunder rolled. The enemy war machine's roar echoed through the hills. Both sides would soon clash here. The soldier knew there was no escape, not anymore, but he also knew he had made his choice. The leader raised his rifle. The soldier raised his too. The room heavy with silence. The girl closed her eyes, whispering, "Please, Daddy, do not leave me. Not like the others." The soldier's voice cut through the storm. "I will never leave you, not even if the world calls me traitor." And then the outpost shook as explosions lit the night. The enemy had found them, their machines roaring closer. The human soldiers turned their weapons toward the door, torn between duty and survival. The soldier stood in the center, protecting the child with his body. Betrayal burned around him, but his heart held only one truth. She was his, and no one would take her away. The old outpost shook with thunder. The walls cracked as explosions rolled outside. The soldier stood in the center of the room, his rifle raised, his body shielding the alien girl. Around him, human soldiers prepared their weapons, glancing at him with doubt and anger. Outside, the roar of alien war machines grew louder, their claws smashing the earth as they closed in. The leader shouted, "Stand aside, Unit 27. She will only bring death to us all." The soldier's voice was steady, but his heart raced. "No, she is not their weapon. She is not their curse. She is only a child." The girl clung to his back, her glowing eyes wide with fear. She whispered, "Daddy, please, they will take me. They will kill you." The door exploded inward. Flames burst through the room as metal claws tore through the wall. Alien soldiers followed, their armor glowing with strange light, their weapons humming with deadly energy. The human soldiers turned, firing in panic, the air filled with smoke, fire, and screams. The soldier doctor edged the girl behind cover, bullets and beams flying past them. He fired back at the aliens, his rifle kicking hard in his hands. One fell, another stumbled, but more came, endless. The girl covered her ears, her small body trembling with each blast. Her glowing eyes flickered, brighter and brighter. The leader shouted again, his voice drowned in chaos. "Kill the aliens, and then we take the girl." The soldier felt rage burn inside him. Even as men died beside him, their hate for the child did not fade. He shouted back, "She is not your enemy. She is your only hope." No one listened. The battle was madness, fire lighting the dark, rain pouring through the broken roof. The soldier held the girl close, moving between ruins, but he knew they could not escape like this. The enemy machines blocked every path. Then the girl screamed. Her small body shook, her hands glowing with blinding light. The soldier turned in shock, her power bursting free. The walls bent, the air twisted. Beams of energy shattered as they touched her glow. Both human and alien soldiers froze, staring in fear. Her voice rang clear, though broken. "Stop. Stop killing. Stop hurting him." The ground trembled as light spread out from her like a wave. Weapons cracked, armor melted, machines stumbled. The battlefield went silent, held in her power. The soldier grabbed her shoulders, his voice urgent. Enough, little one, you will burn yourself. Her glowing eyes filled with tears. They will take you, they will kill you, I cannot let them. Her voice shook the air like thunder. He pulled her close, holding her against his chest. You are not a weapon, you are not a curse, you are my child, do you hear me? Her glow flickered, her tears fell hot against his shirt. She whispered, But I am too dangerous, Daddy, too dangerous for you. The soldier shook his head, gripping her tightly. I would rather face the whole world than lose you, he said, his voice raw. His words cut through her fear. Her glow dimmed, her trembling slowed. She buried her face in his chest, whispering, I only wanted one day, just one day. His hand stroked her hair, rough but gentle. The battlefield erupted again. The aliens regrouped, shouting in their strange tongue. The humans too raised their weapons, fear twisting their faces. The leader roared, She is not a child! She is a monster! Kill her now! The soldier spun, aiming his rifle at his own commander. Take one step closer, he growled, and I will drop you where you stand. The other soldiers hesitated, torn between orders and survival. Some lowered their rifles, their eyes wide with doubt. Others raised them higher, sweat pouring down their faces. The storm outside screamed louder, lightning tearing across the sky. The war machine pushed closer, tearing through the ruins. Its red eye burned with hunger, its claws reaching. The girl whimpered, clinging tighter to the soldier. He knew they could not hold here, not against this, but he would not let go, not now, not ever. He lifted her again, carrying her toward the back wall. Stay with me no matter what happens, he whispered. She nodded, her tears glowing faint in the dark. Behind them, soldiers shouted, shots rang out. Ahead, the war machine smashed the roof open. The rain poured inside, flames hissed in the water. The ground shook, the air burned. The soldier pressed his face close to hers, whispering, If this is the end, then we end together, not apart. Her glowing eyes opened wide, filled with fragile hope. Her small hands touched his chest. Then I am not alone, she whispered, her voice trembling but strong. And for the first time since the storm began, the soldier smiled. The battlefield roared, the storm howled, the machine thundered closer, but these Air bond was unbroken, stronger than any war. The night burned with storm and fire. The ruined outpost shook as the alien war machine smashed through the roof, its red eye blazing. Rain poured into the chamber, washing over broken walls, mixing with smoke and blood. The soldier stood firm, holding the alien girl close against his chest. His rifle was heavy in one hand, but his promise to her was heavier still. Around him, chaos ruled. Human soldiers screamed and fired blindly, some at the machine, some at the child. Alien warriors stormed through the breaches, their weapons cutting the air with green light. Between them all stood the soldier, a wall of flesh and will. He shouted into the storm, You will not have her. The girl's glowing eyes flickered, her small body shook with fear and exhaustion. She whispered, Daddy, you cannot fight them all. There are too many. The soldier pressed his forehead to hers, whispering back, Maybe I cannot, but we can. The war machine roared. Its claws tore stone apart. Its red eye locked on the child. The soldier raised his rifle and fired. Bullets sparked uselessly against its armor, but he kept shooting, screaming his defiance. The girl lifted her trembling hands. Her glow spread, brighter and brighter until the rain itself seemed to burn. Light bent, shadows twisted, the battlefield froze for a heartbeat. Human and alien soldiers alike stared, blinded by her radiance. Her voice rose above the storm, trembling but fierce. No more killing, no more taking. Her words shook the ground. The machine staggered, its red light faltering. Beams of fire cracked in the air, melting away before they reached her. For the first time, the hunters looked afraid, but the power tore at her body. Her small frame shook as if breaking apart. The soldier grabbed her, holding her tight, whispering, Stop, little one. You will destroy yourself. Her glowing eyes filled with tears. I must, Daddy. They will never stop unless I do. He shook his head fiercely. You are not alone anymore. We fight together. His words gave her strength. Her glow steadied, not wild but focused. She leaned against him, whispering, Then help me. Stay with me. Together they turned toward the machine. The soldier fired again, each shot guided by her light. Bullets pierced weak spots in its armor, sparks flying. The girl's glow bent the beams of its weapons aside. Step by step they pushed forward, one man and one child against a monster. The machine roared in pain, its legs buckled, its red eye cracked with fire. The ground shook as it collapsed, metal screaming. Explosions lit the night as its core burned. The storm swallowed the flames, hissing in victory. For a moment there was silence. The soldier knelt, holding the girl close, his body shaking. She leaned weakly against him, whispering, We did it, Daddy. He smiled through the rain, rough and broken. Yes, we did, little one. Yes, we did. But the silence did not last. The human leader staggered to his feet, blood on his face, rage in his eyes. You fool, he spat, raising his weapon. You protect a monster. You betrayed us all. The soldier rose slowly, placing himself in front of the girl again. His voice was cold, steady. No, I found what it means to be human again. Other soldiers hesitated, torn by what they had seen. Some lowered their weapons, shame in their eyes. Others turned and fled into the storm, unwilling to fight anymore. The leader's hand shook as he aimed, but before he fired, the girl's glow spread once more, gentle and soft. She stepped beside the soldier. Her voice was quiet, almost tender. You cannot kill me, because I am not your enemy, not anymore. Her light touched the leader, and his weapon fell from his hand. He sank to his knees, broken not by power, but by truth. The storm calmed, rain still fell, but the thunder moved away. The battlefield lay in ruins, but something new filled the air, not just smoke and death, but a fragile hope. The soldier looked at the girl, and for the first time, she smiled without fear. You do not have to pretend anymore, she whispered, her voice soft. You are my daddy now, not just for one day, but forever. The soldier's throat tightened, his heart heavy with something deeper than war. He pulled her close, whispering back, Yes, forever, as long as I breathe. And he meant it, with every part of his soul. The storm clouds broke. A thin line of dawn touched the horizon. The world was still scarred, still bleeding, but in the arms of one human soldier and one abandoned alien child, a new bond had been born, stronger than any war. They walked into the light together, not father and daughter by blood, but bound by something far greater. And as the broken forest whispered behind them, the universe itself seemed to pause, watching. Because sometimes the smallest bond between the most unlikely souls can change everything. And sometimes, in the darkest night, a single promise can light the stars.